What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So, looks like we have ourselves a full spoiler for the 2020 10 of Lost Memories. We know everything that is inside of this 10, and this is the official Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG card database. So, you know that this is 100% confirmed. It's not speculation. We don't need to wait on leaks or anything like that. I'm going to break this down really quickly. Actually, I'm not going to break the full thing down. We're going to go really quick because I think this is really solid. And a lot of the cards that are in here that we just really needed to get, things like Appaloosa Boa the Goddess, they're in here. There was some speculation that maybe Konami wouldn't put them in here, but they did. And they even gave us some reprints of things that have been reprinted recently, but that's okay because some of these cards, even after their reprints, are still fairly expensive. So let's go ahead and break them down. We got some Salamangreats. I always thought that Salamangreats got the shaft when it came to rarities because they got released in Soul Fusion, and honestly, Soul Fusion was just so focused on the dangers and Thunder Dragons. It was hard to get like high rarities when Thunder Dragons and dangers took up all the ultras and the secret spots. Like, I don't know. I think Sanctuary could have been like an ultra rare or maybe Heatleo, but or they could have at least made those like super rares. But it doesn't matter. They're getting their due. Neo Space Connector, very solid card. Will be a solid card in for a long time until maybe ISO gets banned. Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, the first major card that's it's coming out of Savage Strike. Got a reprint. At one point was a $100 card. Even post reprint, I feel like this is still a pretty solid reprint because it's a card that is probably going to be good as long as Link Summoning is good. Madoche Petting Cessor. This card easily could have been an ultra rare just for what it did for the Madoche deck. Like, forget about it. It made the Madoche deck incredibly strong. Took it to heights I don't think anybody saw. We also got like Wheeler, Aloof Lapine. Here's one of the biggest reprints in the entire set. Savage Strike was such a powerhouse set with Extravagance and Phantasme, Borlode Savage Dragon. This card, even after a dip, is sitting at like $45. I think it's gonna go. I think it's gonna go lower, honestly. But this is definitely really nice. A card that this thing had to have. Cyborgs Quantum Dragon, another solid card. I think at its max is like a $12 card, but it's an ultra rare out of Savage Strike. Honestly, some of these cards, like some of the Salamangreat cards, like Fusion of Fire, Violet Chimera, Sunlight Wolf, which are all in here, they should have been higher rarity. Savage Strike had so many good cards, Guru, but so many of them were low rarity and could have been higher rarity. Guard Dragons, speaking of other good cards from Savage Strike, LP is in here. You guys know this card is banned in the OCG. I guess this tells us my theory on LP is probably correct. I think it's just off Konami's radar. Very similar to, well, no, I can't think of another card. I was going to say very similar to something else, but I lost my train of thought. Anyways, my point is I don't think LP is on the ban list hot seat at all. I don't even think Konami's thinking about it. So, yeah, reprinting LP probably means that they're not going to try to like ban it afterwards. We got Neos Fusion, Fusion of Fire, and Trickstar Fusion. So Fusion. Were any of the? I think only this one was actually released in Soul Fusion, by the way. I think the other two were released in Savage Strike, but correct me if I'm wrong. All very well. These two are good cards. Trickstar Fusion, maybe not so much, but Neos Fusion definitely super solid card. World Legacy Guard Dragon, a card that at its height was like a $20 card. Another card from Savage Strike was such a good set. And Pot of Extravagance, even after its reprint in Toon Chaos, still like around a $40 card. I'm so glad I got rid of mine back in March when Yu-Gi-Oh! Started shutting down. And I was like, look, I don't know when the next time we're going to have events, so I'm going to get rid of my playsets. And it looks like now we might be able to get a playset of Pot of Extravagance for what one used to cost, because this was at one point a $100 card, and it deserved to be. Like, Pot of Extravagance, one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! We got a bunch of traps for like Guard Dragons and Subters and Witch's Strike, which, wow, was this? I don't remember what set this card came out in, but I do remember it was a secret rare for like no reason. The card always sucked. Like, what? They could have easily filled that with something better. Time Thieves, basically all of their cards. Same thing with Valkyries, getting reprints. Subterra Guru, I know that it already had a hollow reprint or a hollow reprint / upgrade, but it's getting another one. Trickster Carabane, another really nice one because this was played in not just Trickstars, but like Orcus, and just like a super solid card because it does allow you to like freely summon it when you have no monsters on the field. Known Material, a card that could be good again in the future, kind of maybe tied to like Link monsters, but format dependent, still a solid reprint in my opinion. Known Material, was that Dark Neostorm? I feel like that wasn't Savage Strike. We got some Destiny Hero stuff in here. We also have some Dino Wrestlers. Of all the Dino Wrestlers, they didn't reprint Dino Wrestler Pankatrops, which is kind of bizarre to me. Like, easily the best Dino Wrestler ever. Signet Mining, we knew from jump this was going to be in here because Konami told us. We have Mech Knight, Crusadia, Avramax. Very, very solid. I still think this card is incredibly difficult to kill. Some decks, can't kill it. If you don't have something like one of them big bad Boral monsters, you're going to struggle. We've got more fusion, like Tyrant Dino Fusion, which I think is for Dino Wrestlers. We have Fusion Destiny. Okay, so basically a lot of fusion cards in here. We did have a set that had fusion in its name, so there's that. Crackdown, getting a reprint. More Valkyries. You want to talk about archetype that took up a bunch of hollow spots but didn't deserve it. My goodness. Everything from Final Light to Valkyrie Sesh, they were like all just like high hollow cards. Cherubini, another awesome reprint. At its height was like $30 to $40 card. Did it deserve it? I mean, it did have a deck that got like second place at a YCS, but it felt a little bit like it was a one-hit wonder. We've got Marincess, more Dino Wrestlers, Tenyi, basically everything. At least for, I want to say they're Rising Rampage cards. I think they're all in here when it comes to Tenyi. Gizmek, Orochi, another very, very solid card. Definitely deserving of a reprint. More Marincess, more Tenyi, and more of those Juggernaut Bombshell cards that we had to have in here. Appaloosa, both Goddess. It's come down to like $70, but we know that Appaloosa at one point was like $120 or $125 card, but generally stayed around that $100 point. I mean, don't look for the Starlight price to come down anytime soon, because this is still a transcendently powerful Yu-Gi-Oh monster, and it's one that just, it had to be in here. Appaloosa had to be in here. She is probably the best card in the entire Rising Rampage set, so she just had to be in here. Continuing on, we got Marincess Wave, Get Out, Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi, good counter trap. Should have destroyed monsters. It would have been even better. We got Dragunity Knight, Romulus, and I feel like there's another really big, what's it called? Oh, Gladiator Beast from like Chaos Impact. Starly Seifert, I think either this or Nebula Dragon. One of these cards I feel like was expensive at one point. I think it might be out of Chaos Impact, but I feel like one of these three cards was like actually kind of expensive, and I think it might have been because of the Rocket deck. Moving on, we've got a bunch of like boss monsters for Salamangreat and Firewall, Dark Fluid Dragon, Unchained, IP Masquerena, the fourth horseman, I guess you could call, of this set. At one point, $50 plus card, and she's just going to be good, and as long as Link Summoning is good, she's just going to be good. Like, this card's going to be good for a long ass time, so definitely a solid reprint there. More Gladiator Beast support, and more Marincess Unchained as well. And then it gets a little interesting right here. Striker Dragon, also a solid reprint. It gets interesting because Konami put Infinite Track, they put Witchcrafter, and Evil Eye in the Megatin. These are all archetypes from side sets, not core booster sets, or I guess you could say they're from the deck building sets. They're not from a core booster set. So I thought that was really interesting. Now Witchcrafters, a bunch of their stuff I believe has already been reprinted, but that's fine. There's still a lot of Witchcrafter fans out there. Infinite Tracks probably needed it. Same thing with Evil Eye, because Sorzio has actually been kind of like an expensive card, because I think it may have been short printed and it's never been reprinted, so that was definitely kind of helpful. And then we close this this out with the TCG exclusives, and then another bombshell, of course, being Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I guess we'll have to wait for the price of Dragoon, because I'm very interested to see how much that card's going to cost. But overall, I think Konami did a fantastic job. I think we got some of the cards that we had to, or we got pretty much everything that we had to have in here, like this and this and this. And then even when they went for reprints of reprints with like Extravagance, no one's going to complain about that. It's still a $40 card that can be played in like half of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. So I feel like even if you're pulling Extravagance out of your Megatin, you're probably not going to complain about it. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always.